All right, let's dive right in. What if I told you that in less than 3 years, our entire economic system as we know it could just implode? Now, that's not some sci-fi plot. That is the actual prediction from Emad Mostaque, the co-founder of Stable Diffusion. He's laid out a 1,000-day countdown to a revolution, and today, we're going to walk through exactly what he thinks is coming.
And there it is, right from the man himself. This isn't some guess about a far-off, distant future. We're talking about the next 1,000 days. It's a pretty shocking claim, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to unpack. So what on earth does he believe is going to happen?
Okay, so before we get to the when, the actual countdown, we really need to understand the why behind all this. Because this isn't just about some fancier software or a new app. According to Mostaque, this is a fundamental, seismic break in the value of human thought itself.
I want you to really focus on that word negative. He's not saying our work will be worthless, he's saying it could become a net liability. The argument goes like this. For a whole bunch of tasks, whether it's diagnosing cancer or writing really complex code, an AI is already faster and more accurate than even the top human experts. So in a world like that, our input doesn't just add zero value, it can actually introduce mistakes. We become, as he puts it, the dumbest people on the team. And this has a name. He calls it the Metabolic Rift. You can think of it as the exact moment the engine of progress switches over from human biology to silicon. I mean, for all of human history, our brains were the thing driving everything forward. That entire era, he argues, is about to come to a very sudden end.
And this analogy just perfectly captures the insane scale of what's happening. Just imagine for a second that we find Atlantis, and it's filled with a limitless supply of workers who are smarter than us, faster than us, and they work for pennies, basically just for electricity. How could the existing human workforce ever compete with that? Well, that's the economic reality that he says we are walking into.
All right, so that's the big idea, the theory behind it all. But now let's get to the timeline. And again, this isn't some vague, far-off thing. Mostaque lays out a very specific year-by-year countdown to this massive disruption.
So he says it starts next year, 2025, with the rise of these really sophisticated AI agents. Then by 2026, those agents start actively taking jobs. And then you get to 2027 and the concept of the digital double. Just try to imagine an AI that's been trained on every single email, every document, every Slack message you've ever sent. An AI that literally knows how you think and work better than you do. It starts out as your perfect assistant, and then, well, it becomes your replacement.
And here's the fuel that's making this fire burn so fast: the economics of it all. A human employee who costs, say, $100,000 a year can be replaced by an AI agent that costs maybe $1,000. That's a 99% cost reduction. For any public company out there, the question really isn't if they'll make that switch, but how fast can they do it?
So this is really the key takeaway for you right now. It's a super simple but really powerful litmus test. If your work doesn't require you to be physically present, in person, it's on the front lines of this whole disruption. Now, that doesn't mean you're getting fired tomorrow, but it does mean your role could be automated out of economic relevance. So it seems like the disruption itself is pretty much inevitable. But Mostaque argues that the outcome is not. The technology is coming, for sure, but what we decide to build with it, that's still up to us. He sees us standing at a crossroads, really, with 3 very different futures branching out in front of us. Now, first path, well, it's a pretty dark one. Out of fear of what this new technology can do, nations turn inward. You end up with American AI versus Chinese AI, with these massive digital walls going up everywhere. It's a future defined by fragmentation, by conflict, and by isolation. The second path isn't much better, honestly. Instead of nations calling the shots, a handful of giant tech companies control the most powerful AI. They become the new feudal lords, basically owning those trillion workers on Atlantis, while the rest of us are completely shut out of this new economy.
But then there's a third path, a more hopeful one, a symbiotic future. In this version, AI becomes a tool for creating abundance, for tackling our biggest challenges, from curing diseases to managing climate change. But, this utopian vision raises the biggest question of all. If AI is doing all the work, what are we for? What does it even mean to be human?
And that question brings us to the most personal part of this whole prediction. If our jobs, our careers just disappear, how do we find meaning? Mostaque actually offers a kind of human playbook for how to navigate this completely new post-work world. The central idea is a huge shift in where we find our identity. For centuries, our answer to the question, "Who are you?" has been tied up in our job title. Mostaque argues that in the future, our identity has to be rooted in our community. It'll be less about the company you work for and way more about the people you connect with.
And this is absolutely crucial. Real resilience in this new world won't come from learning the hot new coding language that an AI is just going to master overnight anyway. It's going to come from the things that AI can't replicate: your family, your community groups, your shared passions. These human-to-human connections, he argues, are the new bedrock of a meaningful life.
Now, a personal shift is one thing, but what about the entire system? With mass job displacement on the horizon, our current economic model is just going to shatter. Mostaque says a radical overhaul is needed to prevent a total societal collapse and to build a completely new social contract.
So, the most common idea people talk about is universal basic income, right? UBI. But Mostaque points to a pretty fatal flaw in the math. In the US, for example, the total amount collected in income tax is around $5 trillion. The cost to give everyone even a basic poverty-level income would be more than that. It just doesn't work. You can't fund the system by taxing jobs if the jobs themselves are gone.
So if taxing income is a dead end, what's the alternative? Well, Mostaque proposes this pretty radical new system. Let's walk through it. Step 1, you create a totally new kind of digital currency. We can call it a human coin that every single person receives just for being human. Step 2, the value of this coin is tied to these huge open source AIs that are working for the benefit of all of humanity. And here's the kicker, Step 3. For the big private AI companies to operate in this new economy, they have to buy this human coin from people. It creates a direct pipeline of value from the automated economy straight back to every single person, ensuring we all have a stake in the abundance that AI creates.
And so, this is the choice that Mostaque lays out for us. It's a stark one, isn't it? We're facing either a future of unprecedented abundance for everyone, or one of conflict and collapse. The technology itself is coming. That much is inevitable. The only question left is, what kind of future are we going to choose to build with it?